Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas. In this video I will explain some words that are used in several languages. So I will choose a word which is de, and this word is used in Chinese, it's used in French, and it's used in Dutch, and maybe some other languages as well. You see it here written as de and as the Chinese character. So let's see if we can figure out what it means and where it is orientating itself as a letter combination in a time and space frame, as I always can pinpoint each letter, and in that way also each letter combination, at a specific orientation in space and or in time. Our Western foundation really starts from space. We like space, and we see in space a place where we can start our opinions and so on. We start the place in A, we start the pinpointing in T, and that's where we start all our logic from. We use a lot of times the letter A. There are a lot of languages which use the letter A lot. The Eastern language, like Chinese, has a script which uses it to pinpoint not a place, but pinpoint its position in all the timings that exist, so the yin and yangs balance that exist in the world that they see, and how they give an order to this. You can see, see the positions of the moments that you can use in the letter N, and the timings in the letter E are already expressed here in the middle. And this is the foundation where we follow all the processes. In sounds, every sound matters in English or in other Western language. Every singular sound has already an orientation. In the Eastern languages, like in Chinese, every sound is only a reference to this balance, and you still have to find the context. So certain words have no meaning at all, seems to have no reference at all in the sounds. So we will investigate how much sounds still matter alone as sounds, while they also need the context of getting it back to balance in time and context, before you really know what's going on in these expressions that are expressed with the words that are built up in a slightly different way than in the Western language. But the foundations have the same building blocks in the sounds, and that's what these videos are about. In Ta, we really localize our objectives, what we can use. And here I can see here in N, I have N, we follow what is happening in the happenings, in the processes, in the times, and in the changes, and what we can also follow up, not just the starting points, we can also follow up what's going on, what is changing in the world, what is going on in the communications, what's going on in the time processes. And we were going to talk about the, which is, I already explained a few times where the letter D is, and it's actually at the border of the new system. You have this first orientation which I basically can say I have my vision at the place with A and T. With D, I have crossed the borders of space and enter the world of changes, enter the world of timings. That's why all my timings start. So it's the same starting position, but here I introduce, I connect to the time frames, I connect to the timings in that way. If you see it in my system in the order, you can have ATK as 1 point, ULB as 2 points, CMX as 3 points. The same thing in the next frame, or the time frame. D, N and Y are in 1 point, and the D is at the starting point. E, O and Z and R are need 2 points. When you need timings, you actually need 2 points to measure it well. And with the E, you can measure it well. You can see where something starts as where something evolves to. So the evolution is expressed in E, while the starting point where something is going to evolve to something else, that starting point is expressed in D. So we already know 2 letters. But of course, it's the combination of letters, the D and the E. The E is about the timings, we know that. That is the starting point where it becomes dependent on the time frame. So how do we see the? The is the smallest sound that you can make with the E. And there are 3 positions that are used more generally with the letter E. So you have the the smallest one, which is almost physical. So it is really almost like a realization. What do I have? What I'm going to put into my focus, almost as a physical starting point. I use it as the, almost like the. I use it there where I can use it in the changes, in the things that I will going to do with it, the things that I will use timing for it. E is the timing itself. A is the full frame of the timings. And I can continue like from there as well. I can even, A is expressed in English more often as E. So I have an E and an E. E is another one. Then you have the more general context in timings as well. So that's even further, but I'm not going to talk about that. We stick now in the Oh, here's the. So let's go now and look for what the meaning is of the Chinese character of the. Here it is expressed. And when I express it at the place where my orientation of the Chinese character is, characteristics and characters is focused, it's focused in the time frame. So I put it into my time frame and see what I can make from it and where it is. And there I design it, and there it is framed, there it is associating its meanings from there. And the character is actually 2 characters. The first character is, I hope I pronounce it well, is bai, which means something like the full light, let's say. It is, you see, it's also 2 characters can be recognized in it. So it is this double frame of what actually is a reference to the sun. The sun is also a reference to a center focus. The center focus is the starting point focus of the timings. The timings start from the sun. That's more or less the association that you have. And you take it out as an abstract thing. So what is the abstract thing of the sun as its center focus? It is a center focus in its abstract sense. So it's actually a little bit like saying, yeah, I start from the full picture. I have a center focus, but I take the general focus. I make it a general focus, so I take it as a full picture. I start from the full picture. That's the starting point number one. The second one, it's actually a reference to, I already have this mentioned before, it can be a spoon, it can be a ladle. It's actually a little bit saying a bit like it's just a unit of volume. It's just a part. So it's part of a full book picture, which is taken out, but it's brought forward. It is produced from it. It's still this usefulness, the it thing in it. It's a neutral. It's neutral. It can be taken out from it. So you have the general thing and you have a part thing. So you can start from a general center focus, but I add something extra. I add something extra as it. I add it. I add something extra. So it's also comparable to that kind of contextual understanding. The is used where it's used as a possessive article and also used after an attribute. You can remember it also, like in the French, it's used also, the is used more like of, this is, and so on. But it is more an addition as well, so you can more associate it. It's an addition to something that you start from. Now you also have something extra, so you add something to it. I add this too, so I have this as well. It's not just two, it's just I really add it as a new starting point with its own measurements in time. So where is the first part? The first part is indeed the central orientation, the spatial orientation, where I start from. And then I have the extra. This is the extra. I have an extra thing added into the process. So the also is an extra element in the process. In Dutch we also have de, and it's comparable to the as a superlative neutral addition. So where a is like a person, the person makes this distinction that it's running a bit its own course on its own, but I start from it to see it from my point of view. I have two viewpoints that can live separately, but I have them in one context together. That's more or less what I have. You have this center vision, me, I, and this little extra that you have that allows it to participate in it with its own activities and changes. You have two viewpoints and you can separate it, but it's still seen from one center. I hope that was made a little bit more clear what de is. You have the in French, so it's you have something that is slightly dependent of something else. It still hangs somewhat together. In the Chinese as well, this still somewhat hangs together. It starts with my vision, and it also has another vision. It's not, we don't separate it completely, but we see already it is already at the starting point of a new process of its own and so on. That's where de comes in. The de is at the border of my visions and my spatial orientations, and what probably can form a process in time of its own. That's where de is located. I hope that more or less makes it more clear in the three languages. Anyhow, thanks for watching. 3 books, website, the thank you, of course, thank you, and of course also a Facebook page. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.